Ironing Out My Life. Chapter 1. My parents' childhoods in a nutshell. Denise, go to your room. The adults are talking. Defiant as always, my mother spins on her heels and huffs to her bedroom, slamming the door behind her. She presses her ear to the wall to eavesdrop. We're at our wits' end with her, Nana tells the state employee, a strict woman in a tight bun and pencil skirt. The woman takes notes. She won't listen, she talks back, and she sneaks out at night to do God knows what with her delinquent friends. My mother is 12 years old. It is 1971. We can enroll her next semester, the woman declares. It is settled. My mother is going to a boarding school for insubordinate kids. Nana and Papa drive their only child to the state-funded school where she lives for the next 6 months. My grandparents' intention is that their daughter learn discipline, but instead, she begins having sex and drinking with the other bad seeds. I bawled Tony last night, she writes in her journal. I asked him for a cigarette, and he said I had to pay for it. At 13, my mother is taken out of the facility and placed with a foster mother, Kate Phillips, a street-smart single woman in her late 40s who smokes. She gives my mother a long leash, so Denise loves her. She lives with Kate for a year, then Nana and Papa want her back. I won't come back. You gave me away, she shouts at her parents, but the decision is final. They drive back to Rockville, Connecticut, ignoring Denise's fuck yous from the back seat. Denise obeys her parents' strict rules during the day, then rebels after dark. She completes the typewritten list of household chores left for her after school, then sneaks out with her friends to drink, do drugs, and have sex after her parents retire to bed, early at 8 o'clock each night. This pattern continues throughout her high school career, yet somehow Denise manages to graduate at 16. She is exceptionally smart, if not also especially troubled. She spends all of her time with her boyfriend Neil, gets pregnant twice at 17, and has 2 abortions. Then she gets a job at Pratt & Whitney Aircraft, where she meets my father. Eager to escape from her parents, by whom she feels unloved, she gloms onto Ed Russell, and when she gets pregnant with me, accepts his hasty proposal of marriage and hurriedly begins the next chapter of her tumultuous life. Eddie, let me press your slacks so you look nice for rehearsal, Gama says to my father. At 4 years old in 1960, my father, Ed Russell, becomes the youngest member of Actors Equity. He is cast in the national tour of Winter's Tale and goes on to perform in A Midsummer Night's Dream and Macbeth, with nary a break between jobs. My grandparents, Lawrence and Betty, who I call Gama and Da, take him out of school and the family goes on tour, where Gama becomes a stage mom. So proud of her son for carrying on in her footsteps, she sets him up for a lasting career by taking him early to rehearsals every day and helping him run lines at night. Gama is an ex-circus performer who trained and performed with horses, elephants, and lions in the Cole Brothers Circus, where Da worked backstage as an electrician. After years of traveling the country, the couple settled down in her hometown of Middletown, Connecticut, and started a family, adopting my father in 1956. They work behind the scenes in local theater, but Gama still has the heart of a performer and sets up my father to carry on her show business legacy. Gama convinces her son that he is immensely talented, one of a kind, a true diamond in the rough. Her unblemished reputation and classy style, plus the fact that she is still a looker well into her 40s, casts a positive light on my father, and producers look favorably upon him, as he surely must have the talent and work ethic of his accomplished mother. The New York Times mentions my father, a bit player, in a review. A mere child is so letter perfect and so winning as Macduff's son that he all but steals the show. And his ego is born. A reporter asks him if he gets nervous before a performance. No, he replies cockily, because I know everything perfectly. They laugh, as if his cocksuredness is endearing, then quote him in their article. Then his impatience is born. Oh no, not again, he exclaims in rehearsal when a fellow actor flubs his lines. The cast and crew laugh, reassuring his tiny ego. Isn't that cute? They seem to say. He's so charming. He begins to see his haughtiness as a positive trait. After all, it makes people laugh. While on tour, Gama takes him to TV and film auditions, but his ego begins getting in his way. They were going to have me in this movie one time, but it wasn't written by Shakespeare, so I didn't want to do it. The reporter interviewing him this time blinks questioningly, unsure of how to react to this little kid's conceit. At 7 years old, he turns down a role on My Three Sons and officially quits acting. Gama is devastated, which makes him happy. He likes disappointing people. It makes him feel powerful. He is becoming a malignant narcissist, disregarding other people's feelings, determined to ruin his relationship with his family. The family returns to Middletown, and my father is enrolled in private school. Ed notices how quiet his father is, allowing his wife to take the reins, and his resentment against his mother grows. He is spoiled and silently scolds his parents for not disciplining him. He claims his independence on his 18th birthday, moving into a house he buys with his childhood acting money, 2 miles away from his parents' house in Middletown. Full of anger that has grown and festered over the years, he begins smoking, drinking, and using cocaine. Then he starts dating my mother, a woman Gama deems beneath him. The two meet on a cigarette break at Pratt & Whitney, a factory that manufactures airplane parts in Hartford. He invites her over to his house instead of on a date, and she accepts. They get drunk and high on cocaine. They hang out every night after work, drinking and using, and soon she gets pregnant with me. Okay, well, let's get married, he proposes. What? She laughs, half thinking he is joking. I was just going to take care of it, she says, implying a third abortion. Why, he says, we can start a family. This is the most romantic thing anyone has ever said to my mother, so she swoons and accepts. Denise, knocked up with me, drives to her soon-to-be mother-in-law's house while Ed is at work to pick up his birth certificate so they can get a marriage license. Gama tentatively hands Denise the envelope containing a deep, dark secret, and my mother grabs it and leaves. Once in the car, she opens the document and learns that her soon-to-be husband has blood parents different from the two who raised him. Why didn't he tell me? My mother wonders. When my father returns from work, she cautiously broaches the subject. So I got your birth certificate, she begins. Ed opens the envelope with the certificate inside. Did you know you were adopted? He freezes. No, he answers. She puts her hand on his back, attempting to comfort him. He resumes opening the document that reveals the names of his birth parents, reads it quickly, folds it up, and stuffs it back into the envelope. Oh well, he dismisses. Doesn't matter. He leaves the room. He's probably in shock, my mother reasons. She follows him into the living room and sits next to him on the couch. He stares blankly at the TV. She puts her hand on his thigh. I'm here if you want to talk about it, she soothes. What's there to talk about? He snaps. I just mean once you process it, she stutters. There's nothing to process, he retorts. Lawrence and Betty raised me, so they're my parents. That's all there is to it. My mother shuts up. He never broaches the subject with Gama and Da, and they too ignore the elephant in the room. They hadn't wanted my father to ever find out he was adopted. But he is angry, or hurt, or something. Who knows? He shoots down all feelings before they have a chance to land, let alone unfold. A month later, my parents are married in their living room by a justice of the peace, both sets of parents their only guests. Gama stands stone-faced and disapproving as witness to the union. Da, accepting but quiet, by her side. Nana, also skeptical of this shotgun decision, yet accepting and hoping for the best, stands frumpily on the other side of the makeshift aisle. Papa, wishing he were home watching TV, by her side. Gama wanted success for her son, but he is on a mission to become trash. Or had he been born that way? Was this a question of nature versus nurture? Or was this simply my father's ego getting in his way again? Pleased at their parents' disapproval, they say I do with all the conviction a drug addict and a child actor can convey, then French kiss passionately in order to make everyone uncomfortable. My father pays the justice of the peace and dismisses his guests. They don't have cake, let alone a proper reception. My father and his bride are anxious to begin drinking and doing blow. This is a day of celebration, after all, so everyone fuck off so they can celebrate in peace.